Hi friends, back to you. Today I was going through the so many comments on my videos. I am very thankful to you giving me such a valuable comments and your support. That is why I am again in front of you, because majority of the comments today I have read. In that 90% of the students were asking for the outcomes of the democracy. Actually, I have skipped out this chapter. I thought that you can do it without my help. But I understood that many of my children are keep on asking me, sir, please, outcomes of democracy. So how can I deny your request? So I am again back to you with the new chapter, outcomes of democracy. Before we start with the outcomes of the democracy, just we will recover the chapters, or we will recollect the points which we have studied or dealt in 9th and 8th standard. Why a democratic form of government is a better form of government? Sometimes board can ask, I think 2 years before this question has come. Very simple question. 2 years before the board has asked this question, why democracy is a better form of government? You can write so many things. I am sure about that you will be having so many imagination on this question, but still we need to go through some points which will be very boostful, or we will get marks enough, or which will be supportive to get the marks. So first, why we say that it is democracy is a better form of government? Because it promotes equality among the citizen. The first point, it promotes equality among the citizen, means there is no discrimination in our country. According to the constitution, every citizen of the country are equally respected. There is no discrimination on the basis of caste or color or creed or gender. Everyone equally treated. That is why it promotes equality among the citizen. Second, it enhances the dignity of the individual. The Constitution of India accepts the dignity of every individual what he is. Whether you are the Prime Minister of India, you are the President of India, you are MLA, MP, you are computer engineer, doctor, you are a businessman, you are a shopkeeper, you are just a agriculturalist or agricultural field you are working, you are a farmer, you are a peasant, you are a daily wage worker, whoever you are. Your dignity is respected by the constitution of our country. Everyone is respected. Everyone is given one vote only. One vote is given to everyone, and every vote is having one value. Every vote is having one value. You are, because of your MLA, you are having your vote is having 2 value, and I am because of a shopkeeper, I am getting only 1 value. Nothing like that. Everybody is having 1 vote, 1 value. Third one, it improves the quality of decision making. Democratic form of government is the better form of government. Why? Because it improves the quality of decision making. It will not take any decision as very fast within 1 day, or within 1 hour, or within 5 hours. It takes time. The first bill will be introduced in the parliament, then discussion, then debate, then voting, again it will be clarification, and again it will be go to Rajya Sabha, then Rajya Sabha will be having any doubts or clarification, it will be returned to Lok Sabha, again Lok Sabha will be discussing and debating on that and voting, again it will go to Rajya Sabha, from Rajya Sabha to President of India. Such a long process. After completing such a long process, the decision taken in the democratic form of government, it will be a better decision. It provides a method to resolve the conflict. My dear friends, democratic form of government is the only one form of government which can solve the problems, the differences and conflicts in the society. We have seen that it in the first chapter of the democratic politics. We have seen that it in Sri Lanka there were differences were there, where Sinhalas were there, Tamils were there, Christians were there, Muslims were there. They have gone for a majoritarian form of government which increased the conflict, but a democratic form of government which deals with the conflicts and the differences. In our country, there are so many differences are there. In language, in culture, in tradition, everything, regional diversity, everything is different. Still, because of we are having the democratic form of government, it resolves all the problems. It understands the problems of the people. It understands the ethnic variation, cultural differences, everything it understands, and making the unity among everyone. So, it promotes the method to resolve the conflict. Last one, it allows room to correct the mistake. Democracy allows the room to correct the mistake. Room here means not the room which we are living or anything. Democracy is ready to correct the mistakes. When an existing government, a ruling party, or the president or prime minister or whomever maybe has taken a decision, or parliament has passed a bill, when the bill came outside or it became the law, the people are not happy with that. By understanding that, the government will change. Government will be ready to change. That means government is ready to correct their mistakes. So that is why democracy is a better form of government. Keep these 5 points in your mind and you can go through that. Next, now we will come to the core concept of this chapter, that it is the outcomes of democracy. There are 3 major outcomes are there for the democracy. Democracy is an accountable form of government. It is responsive and it is legitimate. Very important question. One way or another way it can be asked. All together it can be asked, or individually also it can be asked. So you make sure that it is, once you touch this chapter, means you will study this topic, that it is what all are the outcomes of democratic form of government, or how democracy is an accountable or responsive or legitimate. So we will move with one. Then first one is the accountable. How democracy is an accountable form of government. In a democracy, we are most concerned with the ensuring that people will have the right to choose their rulers and people will have the control over the rulers. Democratic form of government. In a democratic form of government, people are electing their rulers. Not like Saudi Arabian king, it is not hereditary. After the king, his son will become the next king. Nothing like that. People are electing the rulers. Once we are electing the rulers of our country, we have the control over them. We have the control over them. So since we are electing them, they are accountable to us. They are answerable to us. You know, when Prime Minister or when Minister or when MLA or MP coming outside of the Lok Sabha or Legislative Assembly, all the media persons are coming and gathering in front of him and with the mic, and they will be asking number of questions. They are not rejecting or they are not pushing them away and going. Certain cases they may go them and they will be answering all the questions which are asked by the media. Why they are answering all the questions to the media? Because these all are the questions which are asked by the media is the questions of the people those who have elected them. So they are answerable to the people. So democracy is answerable. Once they are answerable means that is an accountable form of government. Whenever possible and necessary, a citizen should be able to participate in the decision making that affect them all. Whenever it is, that is the answerable form of government or accountable. Whenever citizen wants to participate in the decision making, it can be. That affect them all. Which all are things which are going to affect the entire people, they can also participate in the decision making. Suppose that when the GST came outside or when the GST bill passed, some of the provisions or some of the tax systems, the people were not happy. Especially when they have put the service tax on the hotels and the restaurants and everything. So people started to murmur against that. They started to protest against that. Then the government understood that it is. So government started to come down with the percent of the GST which they were taking for the service tax and everything. So when they have come with the decision or when they have shown their opposition to the decision taken by the government and the government was ready to change the decision. So that means people participate in the decision making. We are participating in the decision making. So that is why a democratic form of government is an accountable form of government. Now next topic, that it is democracy is a responsible form of government. How democratic form of government is a responsible form of government. See, democracy ensures that the decision making will be based on norms and procedures. In our country, in order to take the decision or in order to pass a bill, there are some norms and procedures. There are some rules and procedures are there. Suppose that you are the educational minister, you wanted to bring one new bill with the permission of the Lok Sabha speaker, and the appointed time or the given time you are announcing or you are introducing the bill in the Lok Sabha. That is the norms, the rules, and there will be discussion, there will be debate, and the voting. It will go to Lok Sabha, from Lok Sabha, from Lok Sabha to Raj Sabha, from Raj Sabha to the President of India. See, there are some procedures are there. Introducing the bill, discussion, debate, and to Raj Sabha, then to President. Procedure and norms, and there will be how many 2/3 majority should be there, then only it will be passed. There are so many norms are there, rules are there. So, in a democratic country, all the decisions are taken according to the norms and procedures. So, a citizen wants to know. Being a citizen, I wanted to know whether this GST bill is passed according to the rules and regulations or according to the procedures, whether it is started in Lok Sabha or whether, and it has gone to Raj Sabha and it is approved. I wanted to know. If I have the right and the means to know this, then that democracy is a transparent one. You check back. Do we have the right to know? Do we have the means to know? I tell you that we have the right to know. And the means to know, we have the so many means to know what is going on. When the Lok Sabha session starts, only from the beginning, only the Lok Sabha channel start the live telecast. Raj Sabha channel have the live telecast, and the other channels are having important things, and what all are the things discussed in the parliament, very important things they are broadcasting through the channels and broadcasting through their news hours and everything. I have the means to know how this bill is passed, what all are the discussion they have made, who has brought this bill, what was the position of the opposition against the bill and everything. So when a citizen wants to know about a particular bill, whether this bill is passed according to the rules and procedures, if I have the means and if I have the right, then that government is transparent. Once the government is transparent means that is a responsive form of government. Next, democratic form of government is a legitimate form of government. So democratic government is a legitimate government. It may be slow, less efficient, not always very responsive or clean, but democratic government is people's own government. When you take the democratic form of government, you will understand that it is sometimes you will feel that it is less efficient, it is not always responsive, it is not clean. Many times we have seen that it is corrupted. So many leaders, we have corrupted leaders, we have so many leaders arrested and put in the prison. Some of them are still in the prison. So the corruptions are there. So even if it is less efficient, it is slow, it is not always clean, it is corrupted, but still it is people's own government. That is the legitimacy of the democratic form of government. It is people's own government. That is why this government is known as a legitimate government. And this last topic we will move. People believe that democracy is suitable for their country. Why? Because democracy's ability to generate its own support itself is the outcome that cannot be ignored. Democracy is having an ability to generate its own support. Democracy itself is having an ability to generate its own support. Nobody will deny the democracy. Why? Because democracy itself is having its own capacity to generate its support. So I hope you understood. Otherwise, suppose you take an example of your younger brother or younger sister, a small child. She has done or he has done some mischiefs. All on a sudden father got angry or mother got angry, and the father is rushing to him and about to beat and raise the hand against him. That time the child turns and smiling against the father, or very cunning smile, on the father and the father's raised hand comes down. How it happens? The child itself is having a capacity to generate a attraction of the attention of the father. The child is having itself is a capacity. Child himself is having a capacity to generate support of the father. Like that, democracy itself is having a capacity to generate the support of the people. Why? What all are the ability of this democracy? Democracy, there is equality is there. There is nobody is discriminated. Everybody is having the right to vote. Everyone is having equal value. So many things are there. That itself will make the support, or that itself will generate the support to the democratic form of government. So 3 outcomes we have discussed, very important. Democracy is a accountable form of government, responsive and legitimate form of government. Move towards, while we go through this and everything, there will be a confusion in your mind also sometimes. Is democracy is efficient or is it effective? When I asked my children in the school, many of them say that it is not effective, it is not efficient. Then while I ask why, then they will say, this, sir, you know that it is there, corruptions are going on, leaders are doing that, these all are the things. Then how it is an effective form of government? My dear friends, democracy is an effective form of government. It is very effective form of government. Sometimes you are turning against the government because you may be comparing the democratic form of government with a non-democratic form of government. So, when you compare the democratic form of government with the non-democratic form of government, you will understand that it is non-democratic government. Decisions are taken very fast and implemented very fast. Hitler wanted to take a decision. He never discussed with anyone. He will say that I do like that. Everything is done like that only. No, he doesn't want to discuss with anyone. Quick action, fast decision making. In democracy, it will not be there. In democracy, there is a big discussion and deliberation. And they wanted to get the majority from the legislative council, and it will take long time. So that is why you feel that it is democratic form of government is not an effective form of government. But my dear friends, you remember that democracy is an effective form of government when hundreds of people are putting the heads together. When hundreds of people are putting their heads together, there will be number of ideas will come. When number of ideas are coming, from among them we are taking the better one. And after taking the better one, there will be discussion and debate is going on. Again we are refining that decision, and decision comes out at last. It is approved by the majority of the legislative council or Lok Sabha. That will be the super decision which we have taken. When the Hitler take the decision very fast and furious, it may not be accepted by all the people of that country. But when a democracy take the decision very slowly after the discussion and debate and everything, it may be, or it is accepted by the majority of the people of that country. That is why last sentence we can see that. So the cost of time that democracy pays is perhaps worth it. That is why the cost of time that the democracy pays is worth it. How much time if we take, that much the decision will be strong and powerful and effective. So doesn't matter how much time you are paying, how much time you pay, that much the effective decision will come. So democratic form of government is an effective form of government. Next, so many times when we compare democracy, the inability of democracy to achieve higher economy, you are considering with some other country, non-democratic country, then you may be in the comparative study, you are finding that the development in the non-democratic country is very faster than the democratic country. It may worries you, but don't worry. Why you should not worry? Because the democratic country development, the democratic country's development is depend on certain factors. What all are they? Country's population size, Democracy will check out the country and the size of its population and what type of people, what type of different types of people are there, what type of languages are there. Hitler was not bothered about. Hitler was a non-democratic country, being a dictator. He was against the gypsies. He was against all the foreigners who was staying at that time in the Germany. He was not at all happy with them. He eradicated them. He removed them, killed them. But democratic form of government will never do like that. It will cooperate with everyone. It will regulate everything according to what the situation can be made where the people can live together without any problem. And global situation, cooperation with other countries. Global situation with what all are things are going on in the world. What is the approach to the world? And relation among the countries. It's a very important thing. Hitler was not bothered about the relation with any other country. He was just defeating from one country to another country. He wants to elaborate, he wants to extend the kingdom of Aryans entire world. So he was not bothered about the relation with. Now we cannot run our country without having a good relation with other countries, because natural resources you have studied in the geography chapters, natural resources are scattered here and there. We want to exchange the natural resources, technology, services, goods. So we need to have a good relation. So we will think about, when we take a decision, when we bring with a particular policy, we will think that whether this will happen or affect the relation between any country, or it will cut short the relation with my neighboring country. So the democratic government minds it. And economic priorities. Economic priorities are the another reason. We will think of the democratic form of government, think about the economic priorities. Hitler was spending lots and lots of money for the ammunition and making the weapons, while there was a big poverty was going on in other people. But do you think that in a democratic form of government, they will spend more money on weapons and the ammunitions while the very severe poverty is going on in their country? No. Democratic government will go for the economic priority. What is the priority in their country? First, to alleviate the poverty. First, you give something to them. Then after that, you think about the ammunition and everything. So that is the criteria. That is why when we think about the economic growth of democratic form of government and the non-democratic government, sometimes it will worry us. But democratic form of government's development is depend on certain factors. While considering all these factors, we can understand that democratic form of government is slowly growing. That doesn't mean that we are lagging behind the non-democratic form of government. Non-democratic form of government may be growing very fast, but democratic form of government also growing not fast but steadily. They are growing by considering all the differences in the society, economic priority, relation with the country, and everything they are coming up. So moving towards the next, reduction of equality and poverty. In a democratic form of government, any democracy you take, in a democratic form of government, society economically divided. In the democratic form of government, you can see, as it is in the picture, you can see that there are some people are there very ultra rich. They are very rich. Some people are middle. And at the bottom level, we can see that it is some people are very poor. They are struggling to get a meal a day. So this is the problem of the democratic form of government. There is economical inequality or difference economically. We are different in the democratic form of government. So that fact we are seeing. But when we come to the politically, we can see that when we take the voters list in India, majority of the people, those who are constituted in the voters list in India, they are poor people. Poor people are majority, and poor people are the people, those who are coming to vote even more than the rich people. Poor people are more in number. Every political party wants the votes of these poor people. And they are winning, and they are becoming the member of the parliament or prime minister of India because of getting the votes of these poor people. But none of the government which has came into the power by taking the vote from these poor people succeeded in eradicating the poverty in our country. They could not succeed in eradicating the poverty in our country. That is the democracy and the inequality. Next, accommodation of social diversities. Definitely, democratic form of government is the only form of government which can accommodate different social differences. Example, we have already discussed in the first chapter. There we have seen that it is a Belgium and the Sri Lanka. Belgium, they have instituted a democratic form of government, even if there are different types of ethnic groups were there. French were there, Dutch were there, German were there. Without much problems, without creating any problem among them, they have amended their constitution, which made all the ethnic people live together without any problem. But contrast to that, you see what the thing happened in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka, there was also ethnic differences were there, which led to the civil war there. So, democracy accommodate the various differences. So, non-democratic government, when we compare the democratic government with the non-democratic government in this accommodation of social diversities, non-democratic government often turn blind eye to or suppress internal social differences. Non-democratic government is blind eye towards the social differences. Definitely they do this. See, when there is a problem, then when there is a difference in the Germany, Hitler was killing the other people. He was not respecting, he was not accepting the social difference. Only the Aryans were accepted in the society. What he was doing? He was blind to the social differences there. Otherwise, he was suppressing the internal differences by having the genocidal war inside Germany. So, ability to handle social differences, divisions and conflicts, thus a definite plus point of the democratic form of government. So, democracy is having a very big capacity to adjust with the differences and the conflicts in the country. Now, dignity and the freedom. In a democracy, how democracy is related with the dignity and the freedom. So, every individual wants to receive respect from fellow beings. Every individual, you and me, everyone. Everyone is expecting a certain kind of respect from other one. Even if you are expecting your respect from the younger one who is in your home. So, every people. So, often conflicts arise among the individual because some feel that they are not treated with the due respect. When there is a problem in our family, when the society, among the friends, the major reason is that another one thinks that he did not respect. He did not respect me. He did not accept my dignity. Then there will be conflict. So, democratic form of government throughout the world, recognizing this at least in principle. Every day we are demanding one or another thing to the democratic form of government. Suppose that you have demanded one thing today, we are satisfied, the government provided to you that, and the next day you will come with another demand. So that is why it is told that it is in a democracy, examination never ends, or and the ability to expect and look critically at the power holders. So in a democratic form of government, people have developed awareness and the ability to expect and look critically. When you are demanding, when you are criticizing the government, in a democratic form of government, people are getting the ability, they are growing and they are handling very well those who are the power holders. A public expression of dissatisfaction with the democracy shows the success of the democratic project. When a public project comes to the country, people started to show the dissatisfaction. Why should be done like this? It should not be like that, and it can be done like that also. Why this area only taken? It can be started there, and the people will started, and the government will understand, yes, it can be started there also, or it can be implemented in such a way also. Then you see the public expression of dissatisfaction itself will make that project successful. When the people demanded that this project should not be started here, it should be started there, it will be the better place, and the government understood that, government started there, government is also satisfied and the people also satisfied. So people are participating in the, so that project become very fruitful by the interference and the valuable interference of the people. So my dear friends, here it is the end of this chapter, and almost every end of this video sessions also I have taken more time with you. I'm very thankful to you, and I'm very prayerful wishes to you, my dear friends. You will be excelling in your examination. Good luck. Bye bye.